Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a get ready with me, but before we start, I need to sip on this coffee. Mmm, so good. Just can't get enough of this coffee. hmm Okay, so when getting ready, I always like to start with my eyes just because it takes longer sometimes, but then I always prefer starting with my eyelids first. So I'm gonna be priming my eyelids by using the Becca Aqua Luminous Concealer, and to blend it out smoothly I like to use my ring finger just cause. I always prefer using a concealer to prime my eyelids just because like it will cancel out any discoloration on my eyelids. But yeah, I tried using an eyelid primer, but then I don't know, I still like my concealer. Okay, so once I'm done blending out my concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and set the tackiness with the Derma Blend Professional Setting Powder. And I'll be using a Morphe E61 fluffy brush to blend it all out. And once I have my base done, I'll start laying some color. Okay, so with this type of look that I'm going for, I like to start with a bronzer shade or like a contour shade. So I'll be going with it on. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a fail. Okay, so what I was saying, I like to go in with a bronze shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Going in with the shade Fawn and Havana, I like to start off on my crease with a Morphe E61 fluffy brush. I'm just gonna lightly blend this in windshield wiper motions. And while I'm blending it, I'm just using a very light hand just so that it blends out evenly. And also, I like to look down so that I don't create any harsh lines. So I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette in the shade Sienna. I'm gonna add this shade onto my crease with the Morphe E17 brush, and I'm going to mainly focus this color on the outer edge of my lid. And then once I start to notice that my brush is losing some product, I'll blend it into my crease. This is going to start the warmth of the shape that I want to create, which is a halo eye effect. So I'm just going to move on to my next eye and do the same process. And when I'm losing some product on my brush, I don't really dip back into the palette. I just use whatever left is on the brush to blend out the harsh lines. Okay, so moving on, I'm gonna go back into the contour palette with the shade Havana with the same Morphe E61 brush. I'm gonna lightly warm up my crease a little bit more just to make sure I extra blended out those harsh lines. Moving on to the next shade, I'm gonna dip into Rustic with the Morphe E17 brush. I'm gonna take my brush a little below my crease just to deepen that area. I'm gonna do it to my other eye, and I'll move on to the next shade, which is Cypress Umber. With this color, I wanted to focus more on the outer edge of my eye because I want more drama. And once I notice that my brush is losing some product, I'm gonna lightly blend that into my crease, and I'll take my Morphe E61 fluffy brush just to blend out any harsh lines. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna move on to my other eye. Right now you can slowly see like that halo effect, but then I still got a long way more to go. Okay, so moving on to my inner corner, I'm going to take the shade Cypress Umber, and I'm just lightly going to blend this into my crease, but also I'm going to create the connecting half of this halo eye effect. And if you wanted to make this look a little bit more dramatic than how it already is, you can dip into the shade Cypress Umber and just build your way up to however you want it to look like. Okay guys, we're almost there. So now I'm going to take my concealer and I'm going to carve out the middle part of my lid with a flat-ended brush, and this will be the base for the shimmer that I will apply. So this part of the look, I don't really focus on being precise and carving out my lid. I just because you're going to cover it up anyway with some shimmer. So now I'm going to spritz my brush with some Morphe setting spray, and then I'm gonna dip into the shade Sultry, and I'm gonna apply the shade all over the area that I applied that concealer. So I decided to go in with my ring finger instead because the brush, it wasn't doing any justice for this color. But using my finger, it made the product like more better, if I think you guys know what I mean. But sometimes if you use your finger, it brings out the shade like more, it makes it more vibrant, more opaque. But yes. Alright, so I'm going to take a Morphe PK36 clean brush, and I'm just going to clean out the edges of my eye, and I just want to smooth them out a little bit more. So I want to add a little bit more of shimmer, but I'm going to go in with the shade Bronze, I believe. Yes, Bronze. And I'm going to use my finger again just because it gives a better color payoff. So I'm going to apply it, mainly focus this on the center of my lid. Okay, so I'm going to leave my eyes alone for a little while, and I'm going to move on to my face. My face has been already moisturized and primed, so I'm going to go ahead with the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer, and I'm just going to apply it with the IT Cosmetics Foundation Brush. Normally when it comes to doing my foundation, depending on how I feel, I either go for light coverage or full coverage, but today I want to do just a light layer today. I just like to apply a thin layer of foundation so that my skin will be able to breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm going to take my Becca concealer and I'm going to highlight my under eye and my T-zone area. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and blend it all out with my sponge, my damp sponge. It's better if your sponge is damp because your product will blend easier, more smoother. It's just better. So now I'm going to start to set my face with the damp beauty sponge, but I'm going to go in with my setting powder, and I'm just lightly pressing the product into my skin just so that it sets the foundation and the concealer better. But then you can get the same results if you use a brush, but I just prefer using my sponge. Moving on to my under eye area, I'm gonna lightly bake, but then not too long, because if I bake too long and under my under eye, it's gonna get too dry, too creasy. But yeah, and then I'm gonna go ahead and dust it off with a fluffy brush afterwards once I get every area of my face all powdered up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bronze up my face. I don't want to contour, I just want to bring a little bit more warmth and dimension to my face. So I'm gonna take the shade Fawn and Havana, I believe, and I'm just gonna warm up my cheekbones, my temples, my forehead area, just so it looks like I've been sun-kissed a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my face, set all the powder that I applied. But this is one of my favorite parts of doing my makeup. I love to set my face, and I can just set my face as long as I want. But right before I apply highlight, I like to set my face. Just make sure it's a little bit damp, just because it brings out the color, the highlight more, more, what word am I looking for right now? It's more, I don't know, like eye-catching, you know? But once I apply my highlight, my first layer, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face once again. And yeah, we're almost done actually. I'm just highlighting the high points of my face, the bridge of my nose, tip of my nose, inner corner of my eyes. So this look that I have created today is my go-to soft glam look that I've been using quite a bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed my get ready with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.